Hey y'all, welcome to another What Else is Going On, aka We Go Podcast YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria, and I was getting ready to say welcome back, but shoot, maybe y'all might be welcoming me back. I ain't seen y'all in a little minute. I feel like the last video I did was last Saturday, the day of my couples get together, and then I did a little short ride share rambles, which I appreciate y'all watching. And one of y'all said it felt like we were on a FaceTime. It felt like that for me too. I said I was going to do more of those, but in the words of who was that? Was it Varnell Hill on the Martin Show? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Y'all, we know that's getting a spinoff. Okay, the Varnell Hill Show getting a spinoff. But Martin is an executive producer, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Ooh, child, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not saying I don't have reservations, but I'm gonna give it a shot. But I've been out here working, y'all. You know that song, I've been stroking. That's what I've been doing. Child, I've been working. Ain't been stroking nothing because I've been working. That's what I've been doing. So ignore the little bags and stuff under my eyes, child. We gonna do. Corey just said to me today, I need you to do a self-care day. Like you don't need to be doing all this working. Listen, but I'm gonna get all this together. But anyway, I miss y'all so much. There has been a lot of something and a lot of nothing, it seems like, going on with pop culture, whether it's Bravo, the regular news, so much stuff I've been wanting to get and talk to y'all about. So much, so much time has passed. It's like, even though I want to talk to y'all about it, probably not. But then there's other stuff where a few days or this week, the news came up. So I was like, well, we gonna get into it. So this video is gonna be more Bravo stuff. Remember, y'all, we are What Else is Going On. So not just Bravo reality TV stuff, but all kinds of stuff. I probably need to do more videos talking about those kinds of things as well. I hope y'all stay with me and watch the videos. I appreciate every last one of y'all. Y'all, we're at 6,000 subscribers. If it wasn't for y'all, I just thank you for the community. Thank you for the conversations. Thank you for the differing of opinions when it's respectful. Slow blink. You know, I had somebody ask me why I was reading from an article and doing this on the video, right? Something else. And I said, well, it ain't for everybody, right? Like Jay-Z said, it ain't for everybody. And she said, I know, I unsubscribed. I was just wondering. And I said, well, that don't make no sense. Why are you worried about how I do my platform when you're no longer subscribed? Oh, probably because you're gonna be watching from the bushes. Like, if you don't like it, unsubscribe. But you still want to ask me why, just unsubscribe and move. Move around. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Anyway, I miss y'all. I love y'all. Let's get into these topics. First up, this was earlier this week. This was like 5 days ago, but I had wanted to touch on it because I'm like, okay, she's trying to get herself together. Katie Ross. So this is according to the Jasmine brand. Katie Ross is showing some love to someone who's been in her corner through it all. Already, you probably already know her ex, Russell Simmons. So I'm gonna show y'all her what she posted. This is a Jasmine brand on Instagram, but Katie posted, "I'd like to thank my ex who told me no matter what and all the way wait. I'd like to thank my ex who told me no matter what and all the way through he has my back just like I have always, and caps had his, even with the actual assault charges. Oh, this ride ain't easy. I love you at Uncle Rush. Hashtag Katie vibes. I can do this. I go back to rehab on Tuesday, and I'm very proud of myself for asking for help." Yeah, child. So Katie is on her way back to rehab. Look, I know I have not personally dealt with addiction, but I know people who had addictions, and it's not easy, you know? So shout out to her, no matter how many times it takes for going back to get the help she needs. Didn't she like go to rehab, get out, and then she was working at a supermarket, and then she ran into Chris, Monique Samuel's ex from RHOP. And then it seemed like she kind of was posting a little bit erratic again. Then she kind of got quiet. So now she's thanking Uncle Rush. I ain't gonna lie, I have mixed feelings because not about her going back to rehab, go as many times as it takes. But like her about Russ and having her back, I guess it's just hard when like, I truly believe this man is in Bali because he's running from these SA allegations. I wonder if he's paying for her to go back to rehab. I don't know. Anyway, I pray that Katie truly like gets the help she needs because addiction again is no joke. And like I said, as many times as it takes. So prayers up for Katie. Shout out to Katie. Next up, y'all, who child, Porsha. We know that, what was it, April 30th, that Porsha had a hearing. Her and Simon were supposed to have a hearing to decide to be told whether or not their prenup was going to stand. And then she was hoping to finalize the divorce. That did not happen because Simon was in ICE custody. So now, Simon's lawyers did show up, asked for a continuance, granted a continuance, and it just recently came out that their date, I think it's June, the first week of June, like June 7th or something like that. We'll find out in this article I'm about to read to y'all, but that he's going to be present. If he's still in ICE custody, they're going to take him. If he's not in ICE custody, he'll be able to Zoom in from wherever he is. To me, that means he won't be here in the USA. From what I'm hearing, they're going to deport him back to Nigeria, and then he's going to wait for something from Dubai and go to Dubai. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've been hearing. But anyway, let's get into this. This is according to In Touch. Porsha Williams makes plea to avoid appearing in person for divorce hearing where ex Simon may be present. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Porsha Williams pleaded with the judge for permission to attend her upcoming divorce hearing virtually, days after it was revealed her ex Simon Gobadia could be present in court. In Touch can exclusively report. On Monday, May 19th, Porsha filed a motion obtained by In Touch asking for permission to appear via video at the hearing next month. At the hearing, Porsha is set to make her case for why she believes their prenuptial agreement should be enforced. Simon, who has been in ICE detention since February 19th, over 3 months, has opposed the prenup and accused Porsha of making misrepresentations during the negotiations. As In Touch first reported, the court presiding over the divorce has postponed the hearing multiple times, most recently due to Simon being in detention. Simon's lawyers asked for the hearing to be pushed. She argued her client should be present at the hearing. Simon's lawyer wrote, "The motion to enforce the prenuptial agreement is a substantive motion that requires findings of fact by this court. The outcome of the motion will also have a substantial effect on how the remainder of the divorce case proceeds, as it may be depositive." Is that like for like more dispositions of some of the issues and result in litigation on others? Baby. So Simon is basically letting us know, I'm prepared, depending on this prenuptial agreement. If you enforce it, don't matter, because it may result in litigation on some other issues. In his motion, Simon's attorney explained the ICE agency advised it would make arrangements for Simon to be taken to court for the divorce hearing once the court issued a production order. The judge agreed to sign off on the production order, which will instruct ICE agents to bring Simon to court next month. A source close to Simon told In Touch that he remains in ICE custody, but is expected to be released in the next couple of weeks. It's unclear if he will be released before the hearing takes place. Now, in her new filing, Porsha asked that she be allowed to appear and testify via video conference. The reality star explained that she has a time-sensitive international employment opportunity that would require her to leave the country in the next 2 or 3 weeks for an extended period of time that will encompass the June 11th, 2025 hearing. People are speculating that it could be traitors, because don't they shoot in Scotland? Side note to the rest of this article, imagine if Porsha, Nene, and Candace were on Traitors. I tried to watch the first season. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think it was Celebrity. If they're on this cast, I'm in. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm sorry. Their hearing is June 11th, not June 7th. The RHOA cast member's lawyer wrote, Porsha is a well-known reality TV personality, a career in which last-minute travel and unexpected opportunities frequently arise. Porsha shows that this employment opportunity would help Porsha offset the numerous financial obligations that Simon has failed to maintain under the temporary order, as well as to offset the significant legal expenses Porsha has already incurred in pursuing enforcement of the parties' prenuptial agreement and defending herself against Simon as it relates to the instant divorce action. Porsha argued if she turned down the deal, aside from direct financial implications, it could also have the potential to jeopardize the longer-term viability and markability of her brand and professional appeal. I mean, it's a bit of a point. The reality star said she was ready to appear at the previous hearing, which was rescheduled due to Simon's situation. Her lawyer noted, Porsha shows that her request for virtual appearance is made in good faith and reflects a balancing of her professional obligations and the serious nature of these proceedings, not a desire to delay or further complicate the instant litigation. Porsha pointed out that the court has accommodated Simon's request due to his detention. Do y'all think that, like, all honesty, jokes, whatever aside, do y'all think that Porsha had something to do with Simon being detained, or do you think he was already on the radar due to this current administration? Remember, he was on his way back for the divorce hearing, and then he's detained. Y'all let me know what y'all think, like, truly. As In Touch first reported, Simon said if not for the alleged misrepresentations made by Porsha during the prenup negotiations, he would not have agreed to the prenup, which requires him to pay her a substantial financial obligation, which totals over hundreds of thousands of dollars, and which would require him to split the equity of his $7 million home. One of y'all asked in the comments, where am I getting my information from about the prenup and Simon having to pay Porsha? I've seen it numerous places, and here we go. Right here. It would require him to pay her a substantial financial obligation and split the equity in the $7 million home. So there you go. Simon noted he purchased the home before the marriage. A judge has yet to rule on Porsha's motion. I think it could be traders as well, or something else. I don't know what else. Maybe what she's doing has nothing to do with NBC Universal, or maybe it does, but not like a traders or anything like that. Side note, remember when Candace, there was that picture of Candace at NBC Universal? I'm wondering if she was doing some things for traders. Because remember the rumor back when she was pregnant about her and Monique being asked to be on traders? What have you? I wonder if she didn't do it because of the pregnancy, and now the opportunity is presenting itself again. Oh, that would be so good. I would watch for real then. I'm just not like a game type person. You know what I mean? Like even in real life, when people are like, oh, let's have a game night. I mean, I'll do it because I'm not going to rain on, like if my friend is having a game night, I'm not going to rain on the parade and complain, but I'm just not a game night person. I'd rather have like a conversation night where we talking, laughing, me floating from group to group. We just having a good time or whatever, right? But I'll do a game night because I'm very competitive. And that's another thing. I don't necessarily like that side of me to come out. We talk about how we were raised. Look, my dad raised us. It's not like really playing for fun. When you play something, you play to win. So as much as I try to say, okay, relax and have a good time, nah, even if it's kids, if I'm playing, it's not for fun. I'm going to beat you or I'm going to try. You talking about, I think I was 11 when I had to be my dad's spades partner against my uncle and my aunt. Talk about trauma. No, I'm just kidding. But so anyway, yeah, I guess we shall see. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Porsha. Do y'all think she had something, even if she didn't make the call? You think she told somebody or let that information be out that he was on his way back so that it could get back to the appropriate authorities? Or do you think he was just on the radar? Y'all let me know. RHOA, ciao. Let's get into the Drew and Brittany of it all. Hold on. So we know that Drew was on Carlos King's podcast, right? And, they talk about Brittany. So let's get into what she had to say about Miss Brittany.
I just don't. Do you think she's somebody you would be friends with?
Britt, she talking about.
Britt, I just don't see it for her here. I think she's better maybe for like a rags to riches type show, but Housewives, No. She just doesn't want to live in her truth. As we see all these allegations around her husband and their marriage, and then her, and then, she's just not that girl. I think she's beautiful. I would never take that away from her. And I thought that we could, after our sit down. But no, it's a no for me. I think that she's just not a good fit for this circle of girls. I don't think she displays the integrity and the honesty and the truthfulness. And she just has a lot going on in her past. And her and her husband. You know what I mean? Like, they have a lot going on. And I just don't think that they are the most transparent. I think they throw a lot of stones and hide their hand. What are your thoughts on Britt in general? Do you think she's somebody you would be friends with?
So then Britt responded, child, with 2 paragraphs. Okay. Drew is the last person to be speaking on marriages when she has been going through a divorce for years, in caps. She needs to pray those court filings, in caps, do not end up public instead of worrying about me. Side note, they are public now, right? My goal has never been to destroy marriages for clout or a storyline. This show is about wives, in caps, and Drew barely fits the bill. Her next paragraph. That was a disgruntled housewife fan, in caps. Never met him a day in my life, but said he was an ex-friend of mine. He was, oh, wait, let me see. Wait a minute, hold on. And I think they throw a lot of stones and hide their hands. And she's just very argumentative. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, she just comes across very angry. I think that in the Kenya situation, threatening somebody with a weapon, like she did, I've never dealt with anything like that, coming to work and feeling like someone is just so calm and comfortable throwing around pistol and weapons and the threats that she did. And so I feel like, although I've said it time and time again, I don't agree with how Kenny handled it, I just feel like there needed to be a conversation, a reprimanding, so to speak, about that behavior. Parent, I think they throw a lot of stones and hide their hands. And she's just So I don't know who this is for, because then she comments, that was a disgruntled housewife fan, in caps. Never met him a day in my life, but said he was an ex-friend of mine, LOL. He was in his feelings because of an interaction on IG and decided to look for clout, and you fell for it. He has been a housewife fan for years, and every housewife's comments looking for a moment, so spare me. Who did I miss something? Did I miss something? Okay, wait. So one of the comments says she wrote 2 big paragraphs full of nothing. Other people said, right. I was like, WTF is going on? And then somebody else said, okay, because I thought I was tripping. Somebody else said, I thought I was tripping. Okay, because I don't know where that second part came from. Unless somebody wrote a comment in between. But yeah, child, Britt said, Drew barely fits the bill. Ma'am. People have been saying that Britt is better fit for Love and Hip Hop. I don't know. It's just something about her. And I don't know. It is something that seems like it doesn't gel for me. And I'm trying to picture her in any cast of Housewives. And I don't know that I can. Is it because of the weapon? Oh my gosh, threat? I don't know. There's just something, and it has nothing to do with her in Kenya for me. I can see her on like a Basketball Wives. Maybe not a Love and Hip Hop, but a Basketball Wives, if that makes sense. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I don't know. I was going to be doing Basketball Wives reviews, but that first one I did, I felt like y'all ain't really watch it. So I was like, then I'll just keep that show for myself to enjoy and watch. But do y'all look at Brit outside of the Kenya thing? Like, if the Kenya thing hadn't have happened, which I know it's hard to imagine because it's been RHOA headlines for the last year, would y'all still see Brit as a housewife? Like, outside of all that, like the before the incident with Kenya and then the after. And I know we haven't got through the rest of the season yet, but we don't have that many episodes, right? Because Phaedra comes back tonight. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Next up, shout out to my boo from No Chaser TV. He also interviewed Drew, and he asked her some questions that we wanted to know the answer to, but I just want to make sure. Hold on a second, y'all. Okay. Hold on. Let's just see that. Let's just share that. Why is she way down here? Some things don't change, like me and technology, child. All right, let's get into it.
And you and Ty had moments of flirtation, but nothing inappropriate, because you're still going through your separation and your marriage. However, on basketball wise, Ming Lee, who is surprisingly a friend to a lot of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, has said that was a bone of contention in her relationship with Ty, your closeness to her. What did you think about Ming Lee saying that was one of the deal breakers, was how close you were, considering all of that?
Another person grasping for straws in the storyline is what I gather. Because what else do you have going on? If you have to use my name, because she came over to Real Housewives and she was coming trying. You got glimpses, she was trying hard and it didn't work out for her. So she just went on down there, down there. And was like, I got something to say, I got something to say. Listen, she was never around when Ty and I were friends. She was never around. She wasn't around. They didn't know each other. And since,
And you admitted that, you and Ty had moments of flirtation.
They didn't know each other. And since, Ty and I don't speak as often anymore, we're still friends and that hasn't changed, but we don't talk as often. It's just been a lot of life happening. So since they have been together, Ty and I have not seen each other. We don't spend time talking. I've been working on a whole album. So
yeah,
there's not enough minutes in the day that she's explaining that she is, alleging. It just wasn't true. And so, like I say, a lot of people get on these cameras and they feel like they got to say something that is going to get them a moment. And I'm sorry, I didn't know I was that much of that girl. I'm really clickbait. Is that what's happening?
Did you get a chance?
Obviously, out, but it just wasn't any truth behind it. So they didn't know each other. And since, Ty.
Ming said, hold on, let me see, was it on both?
Flirtation, but nothing inappropriate.
Okay, here we go. Ming said, at Ty Young 11, get your girl. At Drew Sidora, you should have just stopped after doing all that lying on at the Carlos King podcast. I spared you once when y'all was filming and some of your cast told me to air your lying behind. I'll say out. First of all, Drew is gorgeous. I have said it once and I'll say it twice. She has an angel face to me. Second, good for Drew for getting in these headlines from two different shows. Some people may not believe. I can believe that there was a lot of flirting and maybe nothing happening with her and Ming. I do believe that sometimes if you're with your partner and you're not getting the attention, someone's showing you attention and making you feel like what you have to say is valuable. You're beautiful. You're funny, laughing at your jokes. I can see flirtation heavy flirtation for sure going on. Because it's nice to be wanted, right? People like to be, it's nice to know that somebody wants you, even if they don't come out and say it, but or it's nice to feel wanted in terms of conversation, in terms of their presence being around, in terms of being on the phone, right? Because it doesn't always have to be sexually either. So I can see maybe nothing happening. Do we know for sure? No. Ty never seems to answer the question directly. Never. To me, Ty seems to talk a little bit around the question. Because, Ty did an interview and someone asked her about it and she never spoke outright. And then they asked her, is that your final answer? And she just kind of laughs. I was looking for it to see because it was a little while back. But I don't know. I can see nothing happening with Drew and the young lady, right? So with Drew and Ty, I could see her just wanting the attention. So I don't know. Now, as far as Ming, I feel like Ming wants the attention too. And who are I feel like, who are these people? Back in the day, the woman of Brewster Place, and the lady was like, who are the theys? Because people were saying they this, they that. Who are the theys? Yes, who are these castmates that wanted you to air her out? And what did she lie about? Did she lie about her and Ty? And now remember, either Ralph said Drew told him about her and Ty. Now, does that mean Drew told him about, like, maybe it was an emotional affair? There was a lot of flirting? Because I don't believe Drew, and Drew was saying it like, Ralph was saying it like Drew told me she cheated on me, right? It might have been her just saying, me and Ty could have had an emotional affair. Like, no one's saying they slept together. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to the, because I wanted y'all to see there is a difference in their answers, though. Like, um, even though Drew has answered, here it is. Let me see.
This will be radio on all streaming platforms. And doing my research, I was reading, and apparently, there were rumors that both you and Drew Sidora were more than just friends. That being said, now you're on Basketball Wives. Lee, what's true? What's false? I hear that all the ladies love you. What's going on?
All the ladies do love me, right? Ming Lee was my girl for almost 9 months. Prior to that, I was single for some years. My relationship before Ming Lee, I was in for almost 8 years.
Come on, cheekbones.
Drew is a good friend. Drew is a good person. So things have been said and done, but I would never speak ill on Drew. I just don't believe in that. And that's just what it is. That's just where it is. You get into relationships where, some friendships are kind of like frowned upon, and you want to respect, the relationship that you're in. But at the end of the day, like who I am, I like to show up for my friends. I like to show up for my people.
That's your answer.
That's my answer.
Ming Lee is the homie. She and I go back quite some few.
So he said that's the answer. I get what he's saying. Drew said on Carlos's podcast, nothing happened, but her and Ty talked a lot of flirting. Ty is basically saying some friendships are frowned upon and you got to respect your relationship. So Ming didn't like her friendship with Drew. Ming didn't like her talking to Drew for 3,000 hours in 1 month. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But come on, Drew, and let the girls be the cross promotion of the shows. I want Drew to win, y'all. Is there something about Drew that makes you want her to win? And that's what I feel like. Do y'all feel the same? I really want her to win. And especially with that old raggedy Ralph. I do. Like, how dare you? Like, you running your mouth, talking about Drew this, Drew that, out here smiling like you got it like that. Like, sir, talking about, remember, do y'all see what Drew, he said about Drew's mom? I meant to talk to y'all about that too. Hold on. Because when I tell you, I was like, okay, I get it. When he says, what did he say? They were talking, Drew's mom was upset about everything going on with Ralph in the last episode. And Ralph said, Mama got to watch her mouth. Don't you remember I saved you after you spent all your husband's money and had nothing? I was your angel then. Things changed fast. The tweet was quickly deleted. And then Drew tweeted, disrespecting my mother, especially on a public platform, is completely unacceptable. She's simply speaking from a mother's perspective based on what she witnessed. Please stop the unnecessary negativity and show some basic respect. And then Ralph said, Drew does an amazing job lying and playing victim. These are hashtag RHOA fans believe anything. And then Drew said, Ralph does an amazing job as a peach holder. Hashtag RHOA. Let me tell you something. I get it. This woman may not have said that about you before. Maybe you didn't display those behaviors to her before. Now she's watching and right there, front row seat, what her daughter's going through with you. Either way, Drew was very nice in her clapback. Stop talking about disrespecting my mother on a public platform is completely unacceptable. She's simply speaking from her mother's perspective based on what she witnessed. Please stop the unnecessary negativity. Show some basic respect. Let's go back to what Ralph said. Mama got to watch her mouth. Don't you remember I saved you after you spent all your husband's money and had nothing? The way I would have been like, well, you should be used to being the man of the house since your daddy walked out on you and your mama was out here having to hold down 2 and 3 jobs instead of shaping your head, which is why you walking around looking like half of your brain was ate out. But see, that would not be the right thing to say. It would not be. It would not be the right thing to tell him. You was your own mama and daddy, so how you even know about what? Mm. And it ain't about the mom having to hold down two or three jobs. Shout out to his mom for that. But you ain't about to come on here and talk about my mom. Like, that's what you're not about to do with your misshapen head. That's why nobody was there to shape your head right. You ain't gonna come on here and talk about my mom. Anyway, that wasn't right. Shout out to Ralph's mama, but not Ralph. Moving, because moving on. Let's get into a little bit more of RHOA. Phaedra is back this week, y'all. Phaedra sat down with the Post, with the New York Post. Phaedra Parks explains why she returned to RHOA after it took a dip and teases an explosive reunion. Now, we know when Phaedra left, Andy said, he basically came out and was like, not that she was necessarily fired, but there's no show if your coworkers don't want to film with you. And at that point, I guess they had all taken a stand after the lies. And they were like, we're not going to film with her. So, yeah. I mean, you ain't going to have your own show inside of a show. So, yeah. Let's get on into it. Again, this is from the New York Post. She's got her peach back. Phaedra Parks spilled all the details about her upcoming return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta in an exclusive interview with the Post. We've been talking about it for some time. This is what she said, for some time. But it needed to be the right moment for me and my family. The mom of two said of coming back to the Bravo show after a 6-season hiatus. This is where I would really like to know if Phaedra's telling the truth, because if you've been talking about it for some time, this is the first season Kandi hasn't been on it. So when did they start talking about it? We all know that Kandi said she didn't give Bravo an ultimatum. She just said, if Phaedra comes back, I'm not here. She didn't say me or Phaedra. Some could take that as her giving an ultimatum. Some could take that as, no, I'm not giving you an ultimatum. I'm just telling you, if she comes back, I'm not coming back, and that's cool. So I would love to know when Phaedra says we've been talking about it for some time, is some time meaning the year that RHOA was on pause? Or was it even during some of the Kandi years? Like, how many years back? Porsha basically called me as well, like, hey, would you consider it? And I love Porsha. Frickin' frack is always fun, always about friendship. That really made me really think about it seriously. So it's been a wonderful return, because it was like going home, like riding a bike. I just got back on and got right in the swing of things. And I just think it's going to be a very amazing season. Parks, who makes her official return to the show on Sunday's episode, which is tonight, told the Post she wasn't nervous about joining the rest of the ladies so late in the season. You know what? I'm pretty courageous. Living people ain't going to scare me if the dead didn't scare me. All right. The mortician went on, it felt so good to be back where I started. It feels good to hopefully be a part of the resurgence of the housewives, because, they took a dip. So hopefully we can bring them back to stellar status. Obviously, it's very nostalgic for people who have watched me have both of my sons on television, to see them as tweens. They are handsome boys for sure. The reality star said that the mix of veteran housewives and newbies in the season 16 cast makes for the best formula for the show. I think you have to revamp it just to refresh the brand. But at the same time, Housewives has always been about nostalgia. People tuning in to see people they grew up with and the housewives that they love. So yeah, I think when you're going to revamp it, you've got to mix the old with the new. You're coming back to see people that you are very familiar with, but you're getting a little splash of fresh people and ideas. While the season 16 reunion hasn't filmed yet, Parks predicts the get-together will be explosive. I think a lot of people are going to be in the hot seat, including myself. People tried to put my feet to the fire. People love to try to put my feet to the fire. So I'm ready. I stay ready so I don't have to get ready. So yeah, let's do it. Now that she's back on RHOA, Parks told the Post that she's definitely there for the long haul. Now, remember when Shamia was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy, last week? And Shamia said, Phaedra's been on Traders, to Married to Medicine. Now she's here. Who knows where she'll go next? And Andy said she's here to stay, or she's staying. I'm loyal to who's loyal to me. I love NBC Universal, Peacock, and they've been great to me. And so I will definitely be great to them. Are y'all ready for Phaedra to come back? Listen, there's always been discourse about Phaedra ever since she did what she did, right? And some people are like, how could you have her come back when she was a part of a rumor that could have been detrimental to Kandi, right? That include essay rumors, right? Even though she didn't say it on camera, Porsha said it on camera. And it came out at the reunion that Phaedra told her. I always did wonder, even though it came out that Phaedra is the one that told Porsha, Porsha said it on camera. So I always wondered why Porsha got to come back. And I wonder, meaning if the ladies were saying, we're not going to film with Phaedra. So like Andy saying, you can't have a show if people aren't going to film with you. What made the ladies want to film with Porsha? Or was it just like, well, look, y'all, we can only take a real stand against one. So like, I wonder what it was. I don't know. Do y'all feel like, or are there any of y'all out there that was not Team Phaedra coming back, but would have been okay with her coming back had you seen her issue an apology to Kandi? Because sometimes I feel like for some people that is the closure that they need, right? Just like season 5 of Potomac. People are like, some people don't want Monique back. And they're like, well, if she sits down with King, shout out to Carlos, my boo Carlos, he has said, not King, Carlos Harris, who said he thinks in order for the RHOP fans to really truly move on from the season 5 fight, they need to see a sit down with Candace and Monique to show they've moved on, like show wise, and everyone else can move on. So I wonder if it would be the same for Phaedra and Kandi. So for those of y'all that don't want to see Phaedra back because of that, if y'all had seen her do an actual sit down with Kandi, would you then be okay or even open to her coming back? But because you didn't see that, you're like, man, forget, like you feel like she got away with without taking accountability. I don't know. I guess we'll see when the show airs if she brings anything to it. I mean, I'll admit, I do think that Phaedra has some funny one-liners, but I don't expect to get anything deep from Phaedra. Unless the network has said, look, when you come over here, you got to open up. And she felt like Housewives was worth it. Who knows? If we see that start happening, let's say next season, we see her really opening up and really into her life, then we'll know the network had a conversation with her. But outside of that, I guess it doesn't bother me either way because I already know what not to expect from Phaedra. And that's not always necessarily good because I think we feel like we should hold all of our housewives to a standard, right? So I don't know. I feel like Phaedra came in not giving us anything. So it's not like I can expect her. I can't say the network needs to hold her to a higher standard. They never did. We got the police stuff with with Apollo, because that was what was happening in real life and that couldn't be avoided. That conversation couldn't be avoided. And she couldn't get away with it. Child, I know, crazy. Baby. Like, she couldn't get away with that. You know what I mean? Like, she had to have some of those conversations. So the network never made her really be open, if you will, like a Kandi who gave us her family, all of that, the good, the bad, all of that, So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Who is not phased either way by Phaedra coming back, but just want to see what she's going to do for these, 2 or 3 episodes coming in and her interactions with the other women. Y'all let me know. I love y'all. I miss talking to y'all. I will not be taking that hiatus again. Not recently. I mean, not coming up anyway. Back on it, okay? Learning to manage my day, do what I need to do in all areas, try and get rid of these little bags, honey, right here. But anyway, y'all, I love y'all, and I will be back later with another video. See ya. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, okay? Please.